Okay, January 6th, Genesis um, 1, 3, 5 through 15:21. Lot also went with Abram and had flocks and herds and tents. Now the land was not able to support them, that they might dwell together, for their possessions were so great that they could not dwell together. And there was strife between the herdsmen of Abram's livestock and the herdsmen of Lot's livestock. The Canaanites and the Perizzites all then dwelt in the land. So Abram said to Lot, please let there be no strife between you and me, and between my herdsmen and your herdsmen, for we are brethren. Is not the whole land before you? Please separate from me. If you take the left, then I will go to the right. Or if you go to the right, I will go to the left. And Lot lifted his eyes and saw that all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt as you go toward Zoar. Then Lot chose for himself all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated from each other. Abram dwelt in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelt in the cities and of the plain, and pitched his tent even as far as Sodom. But the men of Sodom were exceedingly wicked and sinful against the Lord. And the Lord said to Abram, after Lot had separated from him, lift up your eyes now and look from the place where you are, northward, southward, eastward, and westward. For all the land which you see, I give you and your descendants forever. And I will make your descendants as the dust of the earth, so that if a man could number the dust of the earth, then your descendants could be numbered. Arise, walk in the land through its length and through its width, for I give it to you. Then Abram moved his tent and went and dwelt in the by the terebinth trees of Mari, which is in Hebron, and built an altar there to the Lord. As it came to pass in the days of Epherd, king of Shinar, Arak, king of Esar, Shal Shadaromar, king of Eliam, and Tidal, king of nations, that they made war against Ber, king of Sodom, Bishah, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Abam, Shemember, king of Zilabon, and the king of Bela, that is Zorah. All these joined together in the valley of Siddim, that is the Salt Sea. 12 years they had served Cheladarmar, and in the 30th year they rebelled. In the 14th year of Shalamardar, of the kings that were with him came and attacked Ripham and Eshaf and Kedam and Zahum and Ham, the Emma in Shavar Kiriatham, and of the Horatites in the mountain of Seir, as far as El Paran, which is in by the wilderness. Then they turned back and came to En Mishpat, that is Kadesh, and attacked all the country of the Amalekites, and also as far as also the Amorites that dwelt in Hazar Tamar. And the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Ammon, and the king of Zebulun, and the king of Bela, that is Zoar, went out and joined together in the battle of the valley of Siddim against Shalamar, king of Elam, Tidal, king of the nations, Ephraim, king of Shinar, and Ara, the king of the Eleazar, 4 kings against 5. Now the valley of Siddim was full of asphalt pits, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled. Some fell there, and the remainder fled into the mountains. Then they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and their provisions and went their way. They also took Lot, Abram's brother, son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. Then one who escaped came and told Abram the Hebrew that dwelt by the terebinth tree of Meron, the Amorite brother of Eshal, and the brother Anar, and they were all allies with Abram. Now when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his 318 trained servants and who were born in his house, and went out in pursuit as far as Dan. He delivered his forces against them by night, and he gave And he and all of his servants attacked them and pursued them as far as Hasab in the north of Damascus. So he brought back all the goods and also brought back his brother Lot and all of his goods, as well as the women and the people. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him in the valley of Sharon, that is the king's valley, after his return from the defeat of Chalmar, and the kings who were with him. Then Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine. He was the priest of God Most High, and he blessed him, saying, "Blessed but be Abraham, the God most by of God Most High, possessor of heaven and earth, and blessed be God Most High, who has delivered your enemies into your hand." And then he gave him a tithe of all. Now the king of Sodom said to Abram, "Give me the persons and take the goods for yourself." But Abram said to the king of Sodom, "I have raised my hand to the Lord God Most High, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will take nothing from the thread of a sandal strap. I will not take anything that is yours, lest they should say, I have made Abram rich, except only that what the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men who went with me, Anar, Escon, and Miriam, let them take their portions." After these things, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision, saying, "Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield and your exceedingly great reward." But Abram said, "Lord God, what will you give me, seeing I go childless, and the heir of my house is Eleazar of Damascus?" Then Abram said, "Look, you have given me no offspring. Indeed, one born in my house is my heir." And behold, the word of the Lord came to him, saying, "This one shall not be your heir, but one who will come from your own body shall be your heir." Then he brought him outside and said, "Look now towards the heaven and count the stars, if you are able to number them." And he said to them, "So shall be your descendants." And he believed in the Lord, and he accounted it to him for righteousness. Then he said to him, "I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land to inherit it." And he said, "Lord God, how shall I know that I will inherit it?" So he said to him, "Bring me a 3-year-old heifer, 3-year-old female goat, and a 3-year-old ram, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon." Then he brought all these to him and cut them in two down the middle and placed each piece opposite of each other. But he did not cut the birds in two. And when the vultures came down on the carcasses, Abram drove them away. Now, when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and behold, horror and great darkness fell upon him. Then he said to Abram, "Know certainly that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs, and they will serve them, and they will afflict them 400 years. And also a nation whom they serve I will judge. Afterwards they shall come out with great possessions. Now, as for you, you shall go to your fathers in peace. You shall be buried at a good old age. But in the 14th generation, they shall return here. I'm sorry, but in the fourth generation, they shall return here, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not complete. And it came to pass when the sun went down and it was dark, that behold, there appeared a smoking oven and a burning torch that passed between the pieces. On that same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, "To your descendants I have given you this land, from the river of Egypt to the great river, the river Euphrates, the Canaanites, the Kezanites, the Kadamites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Rephaim, the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Gishites, and the Jezebites." There was a lot in here. I think some of the things that really stuck out to me was one, Abram gave Lot a choice of which way to go. Now, Abram was the senior and he should have got to pick, but he was humble and let Lot pick. Lot picked the best of the best, but the best of the best was not in a place where God would want you to be. Um, so sometimes humility and letting God take you where you need to go. Another thing I got was, God saying that blessed be Abram, God Most High, that, I'm sorry, that when he blessed Abram, Melchizedek blessed Abram. and he brought out bread and wine. I think that was a picture of Christ, though they call it a Christostophy. That was actually Christ coming out, and the bread and the wine, which is a picture of what he would do in the Last Supper. Um, the other thing I got was um, the when God made a covenant with Abram, and he cut all those pieces in half in those times in the Middle East. They both people who made this covenant would walk through. Well, only God walked through with the burning oven. Abram never walked through. So this was a covenant that God promised to Abram no matter what. Abram didn't have to do anything. It was just for him, and he believed. Some of the things I got. Okay, Matthew 5:27-48. You have heard it said that those of old, you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you that whoever looks at a woman to lust for her has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, pluck it out and cast it from you, for it is more profitable for you that one of your members perish than your whole body be cast into hell. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and cast it from you. For it is more profitable for you that one of your members perish than for your whole body to be cast into hell. Furthermore, it has been said, whoever divorces his wife, let him give her a certificate of divorce. But I say to you that whoever divorces his wife for any reason except sexual immorality causes her to commit adultery, and whoever marries a woman who is divorced commits adultery. Again, you have heard it said to those of old, you shall not swear falsely, but you shall perform your oaths to the Lord. But I say to you, do not swear at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne, nor by earth, for it is his footstool, nor by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. Nor shall you swear by your head, because you cannot make one hair white or black. Let your yes be yes and your no be no, for whatever is more than these is from the evil one. And you have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I tell you, do not resist the evil person. Whoever slaps you on your right cheek, turn to him the other also. If anyone wants to sue you and take away your tunic, let him have your cloak also. And whoever compels you to go 1 mile, go with him 2. Give to him who asks you, and from him who wants to borrow from you, do not turn away. You have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be sons of your Father in heaven. For he makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and the unjust. For if you love those who love you, what reward have you? Do not even tax collectors do the same? And if you greet your brother only, what do you do more than others? Do not even tax collectors do so? Therefore you shall be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect. Um, my big takeaway on that is, wow, who can do that? Um, the the standards, the standards that God expects of you to be holy is impossible for any of us to reach. Um, but that's what I got a lot of that out of. Not that I want to do those things, but I know that I'm not able, and I know that this is going to go on to, that Jesus is teaching us. These are the things you're supposed to do, but it took him dying on the cross and us believing that he had to be the sacrifice because we're not able. All right, Psalm 6:1-10. Psalm of David. O Lord, do not rebuke me in your anger, nor chasten me in your hot displeasure. Have mercy on me, O Lord. I am weak. O Lord, heal me, for my bones are troubled. My soul is greatly troubled, but you, O Lord, how long? Return, O Lord, deliver me and save me from your mercy, for your mercy's sake. For in death there is no remembrance of you. In the grave, who will give you thanks? I am weary with my groaning. All night I make my bed swim. I drench my couch with tears. My eyes waste away because of grief. It grows old because of my enemies. Depart from me, all you workers of iniquity, for the Lord has heard the voice of my weeping. The Lord has heard my supplication. The Lord will receive my prayer. Let all my enemies be ashamed and greatly troubled. Let them turn back and be ashamed suddenly. This is I love this psalm. I guess when David cries out, have mercy on me, O Lord, for I am weak. Kind of really matched what I just said about what Jesus said. Um, Knowing we're weak, and David then talks about how he's grief stricken and repentant, and that God um, comes and saves him. Proverbs 129-33, because they hated knowledge, they did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would have none of my wisdom's counsel, and despise my every rebuke. Therefore they shall eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled to the full with their own fantasies. For the turning away of the simple will slay them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. But whoever listens to me will dwell in safety, and will be secure without fear of evil. Um, I think that's pretty straightforward. That we should get wisdom and learn wisdom. But if we don't, you'll eat the fruit of your own decision. So, all right, that was January 6th. I'll see y'all tomorrow.